Static Shock number 5, written and art by Scott McDaniel. We left off last issue with all these now superpowered freaks taking down Static, including another lightning guy named Alkali, and he's dragged down to the bottom of a river by a cement freak and a rubber freak. And I call them freaks just because that's literally all they go by. So pick up this issue. He's being drained to the bottom of the sea or the river. And he's like, oh, these people are grounded, but luckily I can use the metal bands inside the tire one and the steel girders inside, the steel rebar inside the other one to heat them up from the inside using Faraday's law of magnetic induction. So anyway, he breaks out, and there's one named Wetworks who is just keeping watch and apparently was supposed to call Piranha once he saw a body. And so he gives the call, and he's like, cool, great. Now tell me, I'm going to do this the easy way or the hard way. I'm going to take you over to the police. And then we cut back to Piranha, who's making the call again. Like, he's receiving the call on the other end. He's like, cool. So my guy just saw Static's body. I killed Static. The Slate Gang couldn't. Give me the security gig. And Slate Gang leader's like, yeah, okay, you guys are like a bunch of freaks who probably didn't make it past the second grade, so you're not going to get that. And someone steps up to the Slate Gang leader and is like, you guys have failed 3 times to kill Static. He killed Virul, and you couldn't figure out his civilian identity. Shut up. And the Slate Gang girl's like, he doesn't have a civilian identity. Look here, the DNA of Static and Virgil Hawkins, who's the only person who it could possibly be, don't match. So it's not him. And they're like, all right, cool. But you guys did still fail. So Piranha, you get the security gig. Okay, bye now. Oh, but they need to, sorry, this is important. Because in order to truly confirm whether or not Virgil is Static, I guess, they have to kidnap a Sharon, one of his sisters. So it's outside the house. They're all planning to attack. Static is having a nightmare of the night he got his powers. I'm not going to go over it. It's basically he was going to shoot a guy who was bullying him, and then he decided against it, but then he still got stuck in the Big Bang. That's all you really need to know. But he had the same sort of visual as Sharon's nightmare from earlier in the book, where he sees his own self crawling out of his own mouth, one of them being Static and one of them being Virgil. So it's like a split identity thing. It's dumb. Anyway, he wakes up. Alkali knocks him out immediately. They go into Sharon's room and pick up Sharon. I'm skipping a page momentarily. Sooner or later, eventually everyone wakes up and they're like, oh no, Sharon, one of the Sharons has been taken. And there's an iPad there that says, did you really think you could escape me? This is only the beginning. So Static is pissed. Virgil's pissed, I should say. And he's like, they messed with my sister again. And it's the same guy who cloned her, which I was unaware of. But I guess, sure, whatever. So Virgil makes an excuse to leave as the parents call the police for the kidnapping of their cloned daughter. Going back a page, we go to the East River dock where all the freaks are hanging out at, and Alkali and Guillotina are talking about you're a killer, and the other one's like, no, you're a killer, and apparently that's bad now. And then Piranha starts beating up the Slate Gang because he doesn't like them, and then all the freaks show up and also start beating up on them until one of the Slate Gang's like, hey, I'm going to hold a gun to Sharon's head because if you fail to deliver her, then you'll be out. And so Alkali just kills him, chops off his head levels of kills him. And everyone's like, geez, okay, all right, well, Alkali, you good job, I guess. And he's upset that he had to kill somebody, but then Guillotina is there trying to comfort Sharon, and she gives Sharon the whole backstory of my real name is NECA Martinez, it's Aztec, and she gives this whole long thing that I could not care less about, but she's trying to calm down Sharon, I guess. But then we see there's some SWAT people there who are ready to take the shot on the gang whenever. So then we cut over to Static. And he breaks into the Slate Gang hideout, and he's just done with their BS. He's just like, where are they? Who took them? He knocks them out when they're not giving up any information. He gets the GPS coordinates from their computer and sends it off to hardware. Meanwhile, we see that the police have called out to the gangs below, and it's like, all right, everyone on the ground, nobody moves, or you're all under arrest. And immediately a fight breaks out. They open fire on everybody down there. The Pale Man is there, who, if you remember, is an undercover cop, actually. He gets shot and then overreacts by unloading dual machine guns upon his own fellow police officers. So that Piranha sees that, along with Alkali doing some killing, and he's like, oh, good job, you guys. Keep that up and you'll go far in my family. Now, come on, we got to deliver this young girl. Then we get the last page of Static basically launching an EMP inside of the Slate Gang thing, because all of their stuff revolved around tech, and that should have been the first thing he ever did. But he just trashed all their tech, got on the phone with Hardware, and he's like, I'm going to go take care of this guy because he's messed with my family before, and this is too far. And Hardware's like, dude, I get it. You're totally right, but just hold on a minute because I'm going to come with the cavalry. So that is what's going on in next issue. Okay, stuff happened. I get that. I'm not saying that the plot did not progress, because clearly it did. If anything, this is the most the plot has progressed at all throughout this entire series. My question being is, like, why is it everything right now? You know? Like, the issue opened up with him just taking two little low-level nobodies to jail, and then like, I'll deal with this tomorrow. I have curfew in an hour. And then immediately it's like, all right, now your family's been kidnapped. We've got actual, like, people doing actual killing now. All this crazy stuff. The man who has cloned your sister is back in your life. And I'm like, did I miss something? Did I miss the issue where we set up like half of this? I still don't understand. If they know for a fact that Virgil is not Static by DNA, why are they kidnapping the sister? Also, how does that imply whether or not Static is dead, which they believe he is because of the earlier scene where Piranha got the call? Like, none of this connects, and I'm very confused. Regardless, I'm going to give it a 5 because at least it did something, which I feel like is more than the past 4 issues combined. So, woo. But it's not enough to save it right now. I need them to continue to do well. I'm looking forward to the Cavalry in the next issue, so we'll see how that goes. But right now, it's sitting at a totally average 5.